This has been without doubt the wettest year I've known since I've lived here, and we've had a few days of quite heavy rain on top of all the rain we've already had, and it's looking pretty mad in places on the property. So I thought, whilst it was like this and before the wet water all drains away, I'll just show you what it looks like whilst it's looking so impressive. This is the creek. I hope you can hear me. I know we've seen it full before, and it probably would never really get more full than this because of the fact that it drains to that waterfall that we've also looked at. But what it is doing at the moment is moving extremely quickly. I don't know if you're really getting a sense of how fast that's moving, but the answer is pretty fast. I'm on the creek walk. This is the part of the property that gets most affected by water, partly because it's the flattest part of the property, but also because it's where the pond overflows. And here's your first glimpse. This is a new footpath I'm making, which basically at the moment looks like a stream. And this is my original footpath. If I scan up and keep walking, I'm going to have to leap this bit because it's actually quite a dip. I hope this is coming across. This is the path and this is the creek. One of the reasons I started making these vlogs is because I came down here once when it was like this, and like literally no word of a lie, there was an eel here. The waters were in fact a bit lower, so it had its head in a puddle, and I was able to rescue it and put it back in the creek. It's not often I come down to the woods and find a fish. Can you see all of this? There's water everywhere. There's definitely a day for wellies. You can probably even see just how fast this water's going. It's on a mission. This is one of the reasons that we want to put boardwalks along a lot of this. So we know that, for example, consistently this bit always floods. The bit before the trees. There's not much you can do about the trees because I don't think we want to put boardwalks along the whole walk. But in places it might be handy. This is our swimming pool. Very full, very brown. There's one or two other places on the property that look quite good in the rain, so I'll take you there now. I just wanted to stop here because this is my original section of ditch, and I just wanted to prove that it does work. All of this water coming down here would otherwise be pouring down the drive on this slopey section, but instead it's meandering its way nicely down the edge of it. And making its way under the road. So the ditch, a great success, or at least this section of ditch. I thought I'd stop here and show you this because this is pretty extreme. I've never ever seen it like this before. So basically this is where our pond overflows, and it's like an actual waterfall. I'll walk up there a bit and get a closer look. Anyway, so our pond is draining down this slope and then through a pipe under our drive, and then it's heading the other side of the drive down this gully, and then the creek is further down there. So a large reason why it's so watery down at the creek is this overrun, and then my ditch feeds down here and meets up with this water. So the system's working, it's draining the excess away, but as I say, it's pretty extreme. I've never ever seen it as fierce as this. I'm just behind our tree ferns. One of my own personal private waterfalls. Let's go and have a quick look at the pond. You can't really see, but this is the edge of the pond, and this is the point at which it drains. It's a bit of a puzzle there. And then this is part of my pond walk, which goes around the whole circumference of the pond. Let's go and have a closer look. Obviously I'm expecting the pond to be full, otherwise it wouldn't be draining. And the inlet for the pond is coming from this direction, so it's feeding in here and then it's feeding out there. So the pond could literally not be any more full than this, excepting if we raise the level at which it drains. There's one more place I'd like to show you, which is usually pretty cool in this sort of weather. And we've not been there before, so this will be something exciting. As I say, this is a section of the property we've not been to yet, but essentially this is our boundary. You might be able to check out the fence. And were I to carry on up the Mr. Darcy walk from the drive, following the fence, I would end up here. But I really like this part of the property, mostly because I really like this tree. A lot of our trees are straight up and down. I don't know if this is a different species of tree, so I don't know how well you can see it. But this is more branching and interesting to look at. And then in rain like this, it has this waterfall which comes all around it. And this is the channel that feeds from our neighbour's pond up the hill, down the Ceded Gully and into our pond. So it's basically shifting the water around when needed to prevent flooding up in this system. It's a part of the property that is awaiting development. The process has begun, but essentially I need to beat out a path. I've started, but if I spin round, I haven't got this far yet. I've just come up the hill a little bit in the hope that you might get a better idea of this tree. It's not that it's a particularly massive tree, it's just that it's exciting to me because, as I say, it's not so straight up and down as most of the others. It's got a bit of character. Sort of got a weeping willow type of vibe to it. And it's very beautiful. I don't know if you can hear that. It's later on Sunday and it's still raining. It's in fact so gloomy outside that my solar system has shut itself down for the night. And it's only just gone 3. Well, no, hang on a sec. It's just gone 4. But it's reacted to the reduced light levels and decided that it's dusk. When it's like this, and it's too wet to go outside and do anything without being thoroughly miserable, one of the things I like to do is country life scrapbooking. There, I've just had to put the light on my phone. Anyway, so yes, when it's miserable outside, I think it's good to have a kind of indoor task to keep one's mind ticking over, and my indoor task is country life scrapbooking. So I've taken country life for years and years. I used to pick it up at the newsagents at the railway station, in Scotland, and I'd read it on the way home or on a Friday on my commutes home, and then carry on reading the rest of it over the weekend. One of my great Sunday hobbies was doing the crossword, and since moving to Australia we have taken out an annual subscription to Country Life, so it gets posted straight to us. And what I like to do is every few issues or so scrapbook them, and these are my Country Life scrapbooks. So I have one for interesting recipes, one for stuff that generally interests me, and one for gardening. And I like to set myself up on my table, maybe with my knife for cutting the articles out, and my glue, and my nice pen for writing. I usually set myself up with some sort of program on my computer. I'm a big fan of scrapbooking to Poirot or Miss Marple, and I'll just sit down and go through the magazine and cut out and paste into my books anything that is of interest to me. And it's a lovely rainy Sunday afternoon thing to do, and actually generally is a rainy Sunday afternoon. You find me at the supermarket this morning. Woolworths. They've got this system here whereby you can shop online, and they bring your food out in a trolley and then you load it up in your car. So that's all the groceries. And then I just load it up into the car. Now that's that all dealt with and safely stowed in the car. Today is one of the days I call a big shopping day, and that's because it's now temperature wise and weather wise the sort of time of year where I'll be doing my big autumn garden works, and it just requires buying a lot of stuff, not necessarily a lot of hard work. So this time of year I create dung donuts around all of my plants for it to slowly rot away over autumn winter, to enrich the soil and also to act as a bit of a mulch to keep the roots warm. And also I fertilise my lawns. I buy a product called Dynamic Lifter, mostly just because the soil has the potential to be quite poor, and having a nice lush green lawn that doesn't require a lot of watering, I don't water the lawn, is one of my anti-bushfire measures. So I'd be buying bags and bags and bags and bags of stuff. Hence, you possibly can't see, but behind the car we're towing our little trailer today, and Will's got a couple of events on, which means we'll also be coming back with absolutely shitloads of foods for the events. So it's a big shopping day today, trailer day. But we started here with collecting our own groceries from Woolworths, which I always call Morrison's. I think it's because its livery is green. Anyway, after all these years. And so we'll be moving on to the next town now to do the majority of the rest of it. Well, it's all going pretty well. It's quite hustly and bustly here in town today, lots of works going on. I'm on my way to a shop now called Spotlight, which I don't know that I've really seen this like in Britain. It's like a haberdashery, homeware, giftware sort of shop, but on a scale that is much bigger than anything I've ever seen in the UK before. Sorry if I'm darting my eyes and face all over the place. keeping an eye out for all the potential obstacles in my way. It's a really good shop. Anything your heart desires in the world of sewing, knitting, crafting, flower arranging, even homewares, kitchen goods. Spotlight is where it's at. And this right up there with Bunnings is two of my most favourite shops that I've discovered since moving to Australia. It's a nice reveal shot I thought you might enjoy. Ta-da! I'm back in the car now. I don't know how much of what I just recorded was legible, but basically we're done for the day. We've done our major shop. It's all behind me and in the trailer, which you can't really see, except for one thing, and that is going to a fireplace shop which is on the outskirts of town. I've not been there before, so I hope that it's open. I don't know. But essentially we're wanting to just do a little bit of renovation on the range in prep for winter. I need to get some fire rope to seal the top hatch, and I need some mortar for reconnecting some stones that have come loose. And we thought whilst we were there we'd also ask them about whether they think the range that we've got is suitable for hooking up to a wet central heating system. Currently the range radiating heat is our heating system, and there are just a few nooks and crannies of the house which don't get terribly warm in the depths of winter, and bearing in mind that where we are can get sub-zero. As I've mentioned, the temperatures pick up a lot during the day, but overnight temperatures can plummet to below zero. So one of our bedrooms and our bathroom are kind of corners that get left behind from the heat. So we're exploring the possibility of keeping this range and hooking it up to a wet central heating system. Our alternative is getting a Rayburn, but they're expensive. So we'll see about this instead. Before I go this week, I just wanted to give you an update on the trousers I mentioned last week that were coming. They arrived. This is them. They're made by Rab. They're the PowerTech Pro. As you can see, they're a pair of leggings. I like wearing leggings for working in the garden. They're just so flexible. But what attracted me to these is that they're designed to be worn in colder weather. So as you can see, they're lined in fleece inside all the way, all the entirety from the top to the bottom. And the outside is a waterproof and wind resistant, so they're basically designed to be worn as a base layer when you're skiing or doing outdoor activities in winter. And I thought these would be ideal for me to wear in winter, because obviously I spend a lot of time outside, and whilst I like working in leggings, it's not ideal in winter. So I thought these would help to keep me warm and dry and protect me from the elements. Anyway, so these are my new outdoor winter trousers, and I'm going to be wearing them today, and I will report back to you next week how I got on in them. I hope to see you next week. All the best, take care.